I did it right. I wait till you say accent. What's up? It is your favorite podcast, Momager and Me. Hey. I am your host, Ray Sav.
And I am Mama Sav.
And this is, I already said that, Momager and Me podcast. Our motto is where business meets beats. Mama knows best.
Yes, she does. And does.
Period. Mm-hmm. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. We got black on black on black.
See you. Twinning.
You ready to hop on in?
Let's do it.
This episode is called Act Accordingly because there's just been things happening in our personal lives, things at work, things with our friends where we've all just had to like take a beat.
Yeah. And
be like, am I about to crash out or I'm about to act accordingly? So We're here to talk about how you can do that from this HR expert. She is the nicest nasty person that you will ever meet. She'll drag you without you even knew you was even hooked on the machine and make you think critically about your actions without you even knowing that she even planted the seed.
That's correct.
It's an art, honestly, what you do. And I want to talk about the first time you felt like you realized you had to act accordingly in a professional or a personal situation.
I would say professionally probably was, there's two. The very first time was the first time I got fired from my job.
Fun fact, I've never been fired from a job, so that's something that we don't share.
Keep saying good morning. That's going to be a show topic coming up soon. Keep saying good morning. It'll happen. But, yeah, you can't talk crazy to people on the phone. And isn't that crazy? I had a situation today at work with an employee who talked crazy to somebody on the phone. And the recording was sent to me. So now we have to deal with the situation. But I had a call come in. I was working at a hotel. Person came back to me the same question over and over and over again. And then I just kind of snapped on the people. And I guess they either called back and told on me or whatever. But when I came back the next day to swipe my card to click in,
that card said, look for me.
Look for me. So,
I knew you was going to say that.
Said, look for me. So that was that. And I couldn't be mad at it. You can't be mad at the consequences of your actions, folks. So you have to act accordingly.
Yeah.
And then another time, I was not in the wrong, but I was wrong for my reaction. I was flown out for a conference, and it just went completely wrong. Everything. Nothing was right when I got there. Treated poorly when I got there. And when I got back home and talked to the person again, I laid into her and just told her, and she was my boss, everything that was wrong, how I felt, how I had never been treated that manner. And I knew that was me resigning. I was quitting. But after, and she just took it, didn't say anything, didn't interrupt me at all. And then when I finally stopped my rant, she was like, don't you ever do that again. And I guess that was just her hipping me that, no, you don't do that. You have to be able to act accordingly, even if people do treat you poorly. You just excuse yourself. That was not the place for me to be. That was not the employer for me to work. I should have written a resignation letter thanking them for their time, the opportunity. Don't burn a bridge, and moved on. I have not seen, heard, spoken to that lady since.
You probably shouldn't, to be honest. Yeah, you kind of crashed out. Before crashed out was...
Yes, before it was a thing.
Yeah.
And then personally, it was probably when I walked in on my boyfriend on a date with another person.
Ooh, girl. I've never... That's another thing we don't share. That's never happened to me. Not that I've never been cheated on, but I've just never, like, walked in and then seen the infidelity.
Yeah, and it was at a place that we frequented.
Girl.
So everybody knew me.
Girl.
And us as a couple. And so when I walked in, it was like...
It's just the audacity for me to take you to a place that you frequent.
So you could hear the... you could hear it in the room. And it was literally like every eye was on me walking. And except for them, it was like their table was the only one that had noise. And I just walked up and sat down.
At the table?
I sat down at the table.
Girl.
And smiled.
Did the girl know you?
How are you?
No, she didn't know. Okay, so what did he do?
Laughed. Like that nervous, like he didn't know what to do, how to handle this. And
you're caught, buddy. You're cooked. You're done.
And I don't even know what happened then, really. I don't know what happened at that moment, if he introduced us or what happened. But I remember her saying, because it was at a daiquiri shop, that she wanted another daiquiri. And I said, I wish you would. And that's what he did. That was his reaction.
Wait, he laughed?
That was it, because he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, because I want you to get up, because I'll snap your legs like the twigs.
She got up and sashayed, sauntered, whatever you like to call it, away from the table, and went and got her daiquiri or whatever. So yeah.
Wow, you handled that way well than I think I would have handled it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
How old were
voice.
you when that happened?
My goodness, 21.
Wow.
Maybe 20.
When I was 21, that was crash out mode. Like, that was the only setting I had was like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's because when people do you dirty like that, you have to realize that's their reflection of how they see you. But that doesn't mean, just because that's their reflection or perception of you, that doesn't mean that their perception is like, you know, fact or true.
But I wasn't going to show off, show out, crash out, how y'all call it, in front of all those people who knew who I was.
Right.
You know, to show them a different side of me. I'm going to let him show his side.
Right.
You know, and so then they knew who he was.
Right.
And they knew who he was walking in, but then they probably were going to feel a way the next time we walked in together.
Right.
But that didn't happen.
Right.
You know, because then they saw how I handled the situation accordingly. Like a grown woman.
Like a grown woman at 21. Girl, everybody ain't able. You one of God's strongest soldiers, girl.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, how do you handle when people like test you? Like when they like test your patience or like take your kindness for weakness, like how do you handle those feelings?
I mean, it's just like that. That was a test to see if I was going to come out of character, you know, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give you extra.
Where does that come from, though? Like
God. The Lord. You know.
Shaba.
Some people just not worth it, you know, and I didn't want him to think this bothered me. So, you know, or that I was going to allow you to sit in a facility where we engage all the time and all these people know me, and I'm going to walk in and not make my presence known.
Facts.
And to sit down at the table and let you look crazy.
Wait, hold on. Question. How did you know they was there? Did someone give you the drop?
Somebody did, but it was another friend of mine that wanted to go and get a daiquiri after work. We worked together, and the daiquiri shop was near my job, which is another crazy thing. It was a block from where I was working.
Wow.
And so he wanted a daiquiri. I noticed my boyfriend's car was there when I didn't get out to go in at the time, because again, this is a place that we went to all the time, so it wasn't strange that his car would be there. And so I saw his car, and I asked him, I said, "Oh, I saw his car, he's in there." Oh, I said the man's name, Lord have mercy. Anyway,
we might
can we roll the beautiful Butterbean footage backwards? But
we'll
anyway,
block out his name, okay?
Bleep.
Right.
I saw the car, and so then I said, "Oh, I saw his car. Did you see him?" And he was like, "Mm-hmm." But I know that's his car. So anyway, so that was it. So I dropped the guy off at home, and then I went back to the daiquiri shop. So he did. I asked, but I already knew, because I'm like, "Oh, I see his car." So I guess he wasn't gonna lie, and he shouldn't have, because if he'd have lied, then I'd been like, I'll be right back.
Right. Now I gotta go investigate. Yeah.
And then he'd have had to come in, and he would probably say, "Nah, I'm gonna have to fight."
Yeah.
Because he'd have had to. But I wasn't gonna go off. But yeah.
That's really the difficult part for me, is trying to figure out like the line between letting somebody play with you and like actually you being mature. You know, like, because I feel like sometimes you really got to lay down the law with people and be like, this is not how you think this is going to go. But I always feel like there's a way you can communicate with others and not be disrespectful. Like, I used to be like, you know, whatever I say is how I say it. Like, you know, I'm just being honest. And I feel like too often we hide behind being honest or being real. And really you just being real disrespectful. Yeah. Like, without compassion in your speech, I don't care if it's honest, it's still cruel. You know, it could be your full truth, but if you don't have some type of sprinkle of compassion or kindness, or even think about how this person is gonna interpret what I say, I still feel like you could be authentic and still be kind. Right. You know, so that's kind of where I'm at now. And I feel like too often, especially in my generation, we hide behind honesty or being 100% real. And it's like, girl, you should want to be able to communicate with people and then their feelings not be hurt after you've communicated. And there's a way that you can still be honest with how you feel without having to feel fake. Like, there's a, you know, because too now if I'm kind, I know I feel fake because that's not how that's not how I actually feel. And it's like, girl, kindness is not always kindness could be now
setting boundaries.
Yes. Kindness don't have to be, you know, everything peachy keen. It's just not, I want to cuss you out, but I'm not going to. And just that alone is me being kind to you.
Being honest is being kind. But again, like Raven said, it is trying to make sure that you're not trying to just cut a person.
Yeah.
To the quick, you know, trying to low blow type of stuff. It's just unnecessary.
Yeah. And it's like, there's so many times where I've done that. Like, I used to be able to, it's almost a superpower. I would like analyze a situation or a person, and I would go for that one like little thing about you that I feel like you could be insecure about, not even sure. And then that's what I'm like throwing the dart right there. And it's just like, I would walk away from those situations feeling not maybe good in the moment, but then I always be like,
too far.
Yeah, maybe I should not have done that, because you never know how close people may be to the edge. You never know where someone may be.
That's right.
And then also you don't know, and especially in college is where I learned this, like people really, the words that I say kind of hold weight with people in a different way than maybe their words hold for me, or maybe even though the weight that I feel like my words hold. So I might tear somebody down, and to me, I just read you fulfilled, you know, just like a little drag, nothing too much. But to them, it's like, girl, no, you just, I look up to you, you kind of just.
They feel deflated.
Yeah. And I'd be like, girl, I didn't even know that hurt your feelings like that. I was just being real, or you was playing with me. Like, nah, you know.
Sometimes people hold you at a higher standard than you realize or know.
Yeah.
You know, and so, because of who you represent.
Yeah.
You know? And so they don't expect those type of things from you, even though they know that's true. They did do you dirty, and they might have even deserved it, but for you to cut them like that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
It's just unnecessary. And then, like, anytime I used to cut somebody with my words, it always come back around in another way. Maybe then I get dragged, or you know what I'm saying? Like, if you just live in that type of world, like people thinking live by the sword, die by the sword is like just in terms of like like weapons. But no, if you live in a gossipy, negative, always spewing out evil out of your mouth to other people,
you reap what you sow.
That's gonna be your whole little environment.
Whatever you plant is gonna grow.
Period. So back to acting accordingly and like having a poker face. So what's a poker face to you and like your generation of women? Like, what is acting accordingly? What is being ladylike? Like, because I feel like in your generation and my generation has like different definitions of what those things are.
Well, I think that having a poker face is when a person doesn't know which way I'm going to go. You know, I could be very angry, but I'm going to smile. Like I sat down at that table and smiled. I wasn't in no smiling mode. But, you know, people don't mess with people that's crazy. So if they don't know which way you coming, you know, they're not going to fool with you. You know, people don't mess with crazy people. You know, if you just rah, 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 and you give them what they expect, you know, it's what they expected. But if you come at them with a mystery, you know, they don't know how to handle that, which way to go. So I think that the poker face is questionable, almost like, I don't know what's going on in her head, but I'm gonna leave her alone.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how she coming, and all I see is just like thoughts building. It makes you go like, I wanted for her to give me a reaction. Yeah. You know, I was having this conversation with this one girl, and she said a whole bunch of things, just like, to sum it all up, I'm a bad person. And that was the nicest way possible she could have said that, but I promise you, every cuss word in the book, like, just all these type of things. But I was just sitting, like, listening. And then after, I was just like, you know, I hate that you feel that way about me, you know, but if that's your interpretation of my actions, like, I mean, sure. Yeah.
Run with that.
And then she was like, I feel like you don't care, like you just being cold-hearted. And I was like, I swear I'm not being cold-hearted. But I was like, what about my behavior makes you feel like I'm being cold-hearted? And she was like, oh, because you didn't get a reaction. So I said, my question to her was, so are the things you're saying you feel like are true, or are you trying to provoke me to get a reaction?
Right.
Because if I wasn't on my phone, but if I'm giving you direct eye contact, you know what I'm saying? I'm listening, I'm nodding, right. Like, you know, I'm giving you signs that I'm listening. How could you feel like I'm not listening other than what you want me to cry? You want me to act crazy? You want me to call you out your name? Yeah. I'm not going to do that because...
Yeah, because you're not all the things she said you were.
Yeah.
And if you were, you would have given her the reaction
that she wanted.
But you're not that.
Yeah.
So... I've always told you, you don't have to respond to a lie.
Yeah.
You know, what Medea said, you don't answer with something that you're not. Somebody call you up and you're not
then
look over your shoulder.
Who are you talking about? Yeah.
Unbothered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay, girl. I think for me, in my generation, I feel like it's just more difficult because... Maybe because of the technology, like we're able to Twitter, you know, like Instagram, TikTok, like things are just so much more accessible now. So where maybe like back in your generation, it'd be like, oh, I'm gonna call her, and then what if she don't answer? You know what I'm saying? Well, then you gotta catch her at school. Right. While it's me, oh girl, drop the location, right? You know, I'm on my it's like we don't have that buffer to like think. You know what I'm saying? Because of the internet, everything is so fast to where y'all was like, maybe you had more time to process things, you know.
We did, and we had to communicate. We couldn't be cyber bullies. You know, we couldn't use the cell phone and text message to write somebody a paragraph angrily, you know, without thinking about it. We couldn't do any of that. We had to sit and stew and be mad. And by the time you see him, talk to him, you might be almost over it. You're probably not all the way, because when you see him, you'll think about it again. But what you initially wanted to say is gone, you know? So, yeah, it's definitely different.
Do you feel like Black women have to or hold to a higher standard in terms of professionalism and keeping a poker face and playing it cool compared to, like, our counterparts?
Yeah, because the moment we walk in a room with an angry Black woman, you know, off jump, they're expecting us to be attitudinal or aggressive or argumentative, you know, and that's just not the case.
Well, do you feel like there's room for being aggressive and argumentative in some spaces in some ways, you know, because I feel like there's been certain, especially in college, where I feel like I had to be a little bit angry or aggressive, you know, like in certain settings.
I wouldn't say angry.
Okay.
Definitely aggressive. You should be able to voice whatever you're feeling, whatever your opinion is. You should be able to voice if you see something, somebody being wrongly done, you know, because everybody doesn't have that voice or won't speak up for themselves. But it doesn't have to be angry. You shouldn't be beating on tables or
rolling,
you know,
Next.
Use your words, you know, and it don't have to be vulgar. It doesn't have to be any cuss words. Like you said, the way that I will cut somebody, you don't even know you cut till you look at your clothes and it's blood, you know, because I'm going to use my words.
Facts. Yeah.
And facts.
Yes. Words and facts. That goes into my next question. What are your tips when you feel like someone is gaslighting you and you have to like play it cool or act accordingly? Like how do you navigate that?
Yeah. You should pause first of all.
Okay. It's tip 1. Pause.
That's 1. Pause. Like you go, like we said, you know, think about it. You should respond and not react because that's what they want. They want a reaction from you. So we don't want to react. So pause and then respond. And then if you need to walk away or say, you know what, I'm not going to give you what you're looking for today. Because if you know this is not going to go well, you don't have to. Walking away or whatever is not cowardly. You can get back to them or you cannot.
Right.
You can end it right there and you say, you know what, this isn't serving me.
Yeah.
And so I wish you the very best of every good thing on that side of the street. Over there.
God bless you and good luck to you. That's my favorite thing to say to people that I don't want to talk to anymore.
You know, and so just you don't have to go to every party that you're invited to.
Yeah.
You know, and so pick and choose what you want to spin your wheels on, give your energy to. And some people are just not deserving of your energy.
Facts.
And you don't have to meet their energy. People like to say that I'm giving you what you're giving me.
Yeah. I think that's so dumb. Absolutely like, not. Why matching energy? I hate that. You should never match energy. You should preserve your energy. Why would you exhaust yourself over someone that you know is not a good investment of your energy? Absolutely. That makes zero sense. That's dumb. I need us to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Like, if you know somebody is wasting your time, why are you matching that energy with, like, huh?
Yeah.
If someone is giving you lackadaisical energy or they're giving you a bunch of energy, you match it with what you feel like is worth your time and your efforts, not with what they're giving you.
Yeah. Remove yourself from that equation.
Literally. Reassess it and then give it the energy you feel like it deserves. Don't just like match it. Because that could go both ways. If somebody giving you too much energy, being angry with you, whatever, you assess it and you decide to leave it. Or if you have a friend or a partner that's maybe giving you lackadaisical or low energy, maybe you need to assess the situation and go after that person and be like, hey, are you good? Are you okay? Like, do you need something? Can I be there for you? How can I help you?
Right.
So maybe instead of matching their energy and being like, you cool off me, I'm cool off you, maybe you need to be a helping hand. People always be like building community, but as soon as somebody like fall off a little bit,
right,
you just let it fall off. You don't even try to reach out and see like, hey, you good? Like, what's going on? You know?
Yeah.
We need to do that. Because I feel like build community is like a buzzword for y'all now. Like, y'all just trying to be cool. But when it comes to conflict resolution, we're not trying to conflict resolute. We just matching energy. We crashing out. We being toxic. We cutting my cutoff game strong. That's dumb too.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't burn bridges.
Don't burn bridges. Just pause. What was it? Pause.
I don't know.
Girl, I don't know either. Rewind it back.
Then you need to
respond.
Yes, respond and not react.
And then the third
if
one.
you need to walk away, it's okay to walk away.
Facts.
You know, but then if you have a response in the moment, then go ahead and give it.
Facts.
But it shouldn't be elevated. You know, like I say, Raven has this monotone thing. That's what everybody says she has at work.
That's like my favorite thing to do.
And that's her poker face. That's what she says her poker face is. But for me, that poker face says, I don't care. And so that is giving something. You know, that's not a poker face to me because I know what it is.
To you.
You could care less. To you. You know, or either I'm bothering you. You know?
To me, my monotone is so that my tone, you know, because I know attitude, especially with Black women, it comes with our tone and how we say words. So in order to help make people think that I'm not trying to be short with them or be mean to them, I get real beep, you know, when like that life machine, I go real one level because I don't want nobody to be like, oh, Raven was up here with me. No, baby, I was period. But you know, to each their own. To wrap up girl, that's what I do. You don't have to like it because it's my poker face, right? We gotta be okay with people not liking the things that we do. That's you know, period.
I don't know who raised her.
I'm still waiting for my mama to come get me, y'all.
Oh, I can't wait till she comes back. That lady left her on the doorstep. Going on 25 years. Ain't been back since.
If you see this mother, come back for me. This has been our episode, Act Accordingly. I hope this helps somebody just to, you know, humanize the fact that, you know, be gentle with yourself. If you just crashed out real bad or you went off on somebody that didn't necessarily deserve it, or even if you went off and did deserve it and feel a little embarrassed by it, we got you. It's okay. Learn and just try to adjust next time.
But own it and apologize.
Well,
own it and apologize. If you went off on, you just said if you went off on somebody and they didn't deserve it.
Oh, if they didn't deserve it, yes. But if they did deserve it, then I don't know. It's situational. It is situational.
We already just said that you shouldn't go off on people, and you saying it's okay.
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying if you should apologize if they deserved it.
Well, it depends on how you went off.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. It's situational. So,
well, I guess.
Let's just, in 2025, I know it's already halfway, but for the second half, we're going to try not to go off on people. So you don't even have to have this debate. We're keeping it cool, calm, and collected.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. Period.
So it has been, I'm your host, Ray Sav.
Mama Sav.
And this is Momager and Me podcast episode 3, Act Accordingly, where business beats Mama knows best.
And do.
Thank y'all for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. Bye. What should episode 4 be about? Bye.